Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? Get some coffee, everybody. Calm down. I'm drinking some Black Rifle coffee. Really, really good. Strange things are happening out there, guys. And about 4 years ago, Mike from around the world, who'll be our guest tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern on tomorrow night. Okay. About 4 years ago, Mike from around the world said there's a time coming when planes will start falling out of the sky. He said it'll start with small planes first. Reasoning, the 5 waves of energy. What's going to happen is the atmosphere is going to be getting heavier with these charged particles and other types of density that will affect the atmosphere. He said you will see planes start crashing. Smaller ones will be first before the bigger ones. Well, last night we had 3 planes crash, all small planes in 3 different parts of the world. Long Island, New York, a small plane, a Let L410, crashed it was a Cessna 172. It crashed into power lines, and the power lines actually suspended it and saved the plane from completely being destroyed and really saved 3 people's lives. They all 3 survived that plane crash in Long Island, New York. But in Nepal, it didn't work out as well. Another small plane, a Let L410, crashed into Mount Everest. Trying to land on Mount Everest, it hit a helicopter, and 3 people are dead there. And then in Chile, a small plane also went down, this one crashing into a house, killing 6 people there. Another small plane, this one was an Islander, BN2B27. Now, again, the Long Island plane, the pilot survived and said he don't understand it. The plane just fell. His words, it just fell. In the case in Nepal, we don't know the answer. The pilot was killed, but the plane was coming down. It never got to its landing area. Instead, it fell out of the sky, but when it came down where the helicopter pad was and hit the helicopter. In the case of Chile, it just came out of the sky and crashed into a house. Again, short of where it was trying to land. It just fell out of the sky and smashed into a house, killing 6. So there's some really weird things. I don't know if this is what Mike's talking about or if this is just really strange that you'd have 3 planes crashing like this. But I want everyone to keep a close eye on this, because if this starts to become a norm, or if this starts to happen a whole lot more regularly, then what he said 4 years ago, and when he said it's going to start happening in about 3 to 4 years based on the waves of energy and the amount of chargeable particles and heavy density at first that will start causing these planes to come down. It won't be long, guys. There'll be a small, very small dust, and it's actually already beginning to settle on the earth now as the heavens are shaking. And one of the things we know is the radiation levels on the planet right now is up 18% in the last 3 years. That's from radiation. The radiation is coming from outer space. It's coming with the 5 waves of energy. Now, what is the cause of the 5 waves of energy? Well, that's why we're having the Cincinnati conference. You don't want to miss this conference. We're bringing in Clyde Lewis from Ground Zero from Oregon. He's an expert who's been researching the binary system. Is there such a thing as a binary system? Or as NASA says, they're searching for it now. NASA is searching for it now extremely. They know that there's some huge object, huge dark planet somewhere on the edges of our solar system that's creating a massive gravitational pull because everything's pulling, okay, including our the North Pole, the magnetic North Pole, according to Stan Deyo, has now moved 775 miles since 1975, but 31 miles last year. So it's accelerating. This is creating a pole shift. A pole shift is going to create, at some point, we're going to have a massive pole shift. where I'm talking about like a 20-degree shift in one day. That is what John Moore says that the United States Navy was talking about when he was in Navy intelligence and was setting in on a briefing back in 1989 when they showed the results of a pole shift, a 20% pole shift that would happen in one day, that how the seawaters would rise on certain parts of the planet, including the United States. He's going to bring all that information out from his information he has, and that's why it's a closed door session. And then you have Stephen Ben Noon, who will also be there. Stephen, of course, has got that green flash drive, that file that was handed to him by NASA scientists on their research on Planet X, their research on what's called Planet Number 9 or Planet X, okay? And right now, Mike Brown, the former NASA scientist, did an interview on Coast to Coast last week, and there was an article in the I just read it last week, that where he and his friend Bastian, every night they're in Hawaii on that big observatory, every night searching for the elusive Planet Number 9, which is the same thing as Planet X, or the ancients called it Nibiru. So, and there's other names. Now it's got names like the Goblin, okay? All of these names is to make you think that they're all different types of entities they're looking for. But folks, the facts are the facts. There is waves of energy, higher radiation, higher density in the atmosphere. We're seeing poles are shifting. We're seeing gravitational pulls. We're seeing record earthquakes and volcanoes. There's no doubt about this. These are the facts. And now planes falling out of the sky. What does this all mean? Coincidence? Bad luck? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're in the last days.